Hi, I thought you'd like to see our setup for doing our beeswax. This is 2 stages in, but it's the same each stage. You just have to do it multiple times. So I've found a bit of beeswax here. It's what it's like when you start off. So you can just add that bit in as well. That's perfectly fine. So I have a saucepan here with water in to melt the beeswax, and you put water in with it. Now you can do this all in the saucepan, which I have done. This is my first time doing it in the jug. The reason being is when it all melts, it's all liquid, you turn it off and let it cool overnight, and there's a disc that forms on whatever size vessel you have. The disc of wax, which in this case was this thick, and this is the top side of it and the underside. Now normally you'll clean off the underside, break it up and put it back in again, and this cleans it, and when you're happy with the result, that's when you're finished. So I've broke this all back up and I'm going to melt it here now, and the reason it's in a jug is because the diameter of my vessel is smaller and the wax will be thicker on the top. Yeah, so heating, melting, cooling, and it's a simple process really. It just takes time and a few steps until you're happy with it. So I'll take you back later on and see what it's like. Here we are, the beeswax is melted, everything is bubbling, it's all completely liquid. I'll scrape that bit back off in there afterwards. So we'll turn that off and leave that to cool. Right, here's the wax cooled down, and we can just, we're very careful, we can lift it out. And because it's in a smaller, see how much thicker it is than the last time, because it was in a smaller diameter pot. Now I'm going to scrape off all this off the bottom and then break it up and go again. So when I have all the stuff scraped off, I'll come back. Now there's the bottom all scraped off. It's rough because I'm putting it through to clean again. So I got down into the wax for the most part, and there's all the scrapings. So that's for throwing out. I'll see that the bees want it. If they do, well and good, and if not, I will dispose of it some other how. And then we'll put some water back in this, break this back up and put it in, and repeat the process. Now I didn't leave it overnight, it was only a couple of hours, just until it solidified, and you can see how easily it breaks up, because it's still warm, but it's all soft. So there we go. That's back in the saucepan with the water, and it's repeating the process. Put some more water in. Turn on the heat and let it melt. Now I did have this hooked over, but it kind of lent itself towards spilling, so I put the whole thing in. And hopefully I'll get to bring you back to show you it melted this time. I wasn't going to show this bit, but I took the jug out of the saucepan of hot water, and everything, if you can see, everything is still liquid, but the wax is sitting up on the top. I thought that was cool. See? All liquid. Well, here we go, all solidified. That is so lovely and creamy. See, a bit more dirt on the bottom. So same again, scratch it off, and if you need to remelt it till it all comes this lovely creamy colour. So that's the process for beeswax. So you just keep going at it, scrape this off, break it all up in the water in the jug, melt it down, let it set, rinse and repeat until you've got it as clean as you want it. So what I am going to do next, costing a fortune in gas, is anymore. I'm going to well, here we are. Look how lovely and creamy that is. It just looks gorgeous. Now, the underside is dirty again, but not as much as before. So again, what you do is you scrape that off. And then if you're happy with it, you can keep it as it is. I don't know if it's just on the outside or through. So that was me. I'll scrape that off and probably remelt it and do it again. But you just keep rinsing and repeating the process until you're happy. So it's break up the wax in some water, heat it, melt it, let it solidify, pick it out, scrape off the yucky and melt again. What I am actually doing is I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to scrape off that dirt and leave this time. And anymore, I'm going to do the wax in the winter time. I'm just going to save it up. It's costing us a fortune in gas. Just for wax. Well, not just for wax, because wax is very important. But come the winter, I can do it just for free on the stove. So I'm just going to keep that up for now with the rest of my stuff. And do lots of wax together over the winter when I can do it for free. So, there we go, all scraped off, just roughly with the knife. I will put this through once more. But that is perfectly fine to store the way it is now for ages. And there's the bits I scraped off. So, it's that easy.